please. I'll be taking you to Malindi.
We are going to Malindi. Ooh.
We're off to the coast. Yani tunavanya upe peke, tunalegea pwani sasa.
Getting into the plane and my crown can't fit.
I won't be able to sit. Oh my goodness. What? My belly and my bum?
Vera came in because she entered the plane, but she couldn't fit.
Let me help you with this.
She's flying out.
It's actually so serious. She could almost just wants to like pee in her bag. And it was the oldies this way, the youngers that way.
I don't know whether it's your husband that is there currently with our people.
But is he stable?
Yeah, he is.
I love Nene for that. I mean, I just needed a wild friend to make me do something as insane as scream while the sun sets.
And let him marry a gold digger because she's a clever woman. Okay, were you a gold digger? Yes, I was.
I am so loving the sisterhood. I am so loving the bond I'm seeing between these housewives of Nairobi. Like, this is what it should be. This should be all about women supporting women, not everyday chaos, one catastrophe or the other. No, I'm loving this new look of the housewives of Nairobi. I'm loving all the housewives, like the way they're comporting themselves, the way they're coming together to have a nice time. That's what I'm all here for. Hello everybody and welcome to our YouTube channel. How you're doing? Hope you're doing great and hope you're staying safe. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell button, and also let me know in the comment section what you think about the housewives of Nairobi, like the new face of the housewives of Nairobi. Are you enjoying it, or am I the only one that is super excited about what I'm seeing now? So now the housewife are actually going on a vacation to Malindi, which is actually sponsored by Susan. See, yeah, Susan did herself. Like, Susan is showing us that she's, when you talk about class, that is Susan. Like, you cannot call someone that has class and not call Susan. Like, excuse me, Susan is all about class. So she decides to take the ladies to Malindi for her 40th birthday.
It's my bestie's birthday trip. The dress code, she said, is white.
Honey, this is Susan's birthday. She's starting the big 40 and beachy vibes, Yamani.
And when I heard this last week, okay, first of all, I'm very sorry I didn't bring up the updates of last week's review. That's because I wasn't in town, and so where I couldn't really do a video. I'm very sorry about that. So I'm back to town. So when I saw that update that she'll be taking the ladies for a vacation in Malindi, I was super excited because I was like, wow, at least this women will be leaving their state and going somewhere else. And let's see if that peace, because from 2 weeks ago, we saw that there was peace between the housewives. So I was like, okay, let's see if this peace will continue. And so far, so good. The peace is still living with these women. So now Susan had told the housewives that they should actually come all dressed in white. That was the dress code, and they were actually going to fly a private jet. So the housewives arrived and they all entered the private jet except one person, which is Vera. We can always guess right that Vera will be the last person that will come. And then Vera now comes in. Vera comes in, and then there is catastrophe. Vera comes in and she cannot even enter the plane because of her size. One, her bum is too big. See, when I see her walking at times, I even have mercy on her, because I'm sorry, I'm not trying to body shame her, but actually I'm just imagining, I feel like she's forcing herself to walk. I feel like she's not walking freely. So when she entered, first and foremost, her bum could not pass through the seats. Her belly, again, if she decides to go through her bum, it cannot go through. Belly inco, she's pregnant, she cannot go through. She actually came with a crown as well, and it was actually hitting the roof of the plane. So in my head, I'm like, Vera, this is sending so many messages. Like, just go back, just go back. I don't think we need you on this trip.
Plane and my crown can't fit.
I won't be able to sit. Oh my goodness. What? My belly and my bum?
Vera came in because she entered the plane, but she couldn't fit.
Let me help you with this.
She's flying out.
And then I have a baby bump. So it's literally...
So she actually had to take off her crown. Even with that, she could not still fit into the plane until the pilot came and actually tried and did one or two things before she actually finally got the seat to sit down. I went ahead like, even the housewife had to even laugh at her. Like, in case of emergency, see, sometimes in this life, when you do things, you think of the good and the bad side. When there's an emergency, how does she even want to escape, if I may even ask? Well, that's her body. She can do whatever she wants to do with her body. It's her body, and let her enjoy her body. So the champagne started. Trust Susan to always bring champagne, and her goal for this trip is to make the ladies very tipsy. She wants them to drink so that they can get to spill so many things. Like, she wants to hear things that the ladies have to say about themselves. So they're about to board, or they're about to take off rather, and then the next thing that we're seeing Dr. C say, please, she wants to go and pee. Like, she's super pressed, and she cannot go on a 1 hour trip with the way she's pressed. There is no toilet in this jet. The private jet is a small private jet, so she had to go pee, which I think they later stopped, and then I think they had not taken off. They were planning to take off when she actually said, oh, she needed to go pee. So she went to pee, then they now took off. They now arrived at Malindi, and now it's time to actually share rooms. If we notice one trend with the Housewives, the franchise of Housewives, time to share rooms is always a problem. Like, there's always a problem when it comes to sharing of rooms. So when Susan talked about this whole the Housewives were going on vacation, I was just waiting to see how they are going to share the rooms. So Susan gets to share the room. She said the older ladies should go this side, and then the younger ones go this side. So the older ladies in question are actually Dr. C and Lisa, while the rest actually went this other side.
This room situation for the longest time.
And it was the oldies this way, the youngers that way.
So they went, they saw their rooms. I think they were happy. Nobody actually complained about their rooms. They also got gifts, and then the host, which is Susan, got a very good room for herself. Like, you cannot be the host and then get any kind of room.
Susan's room, she got Naomi Campbell's, where she stayed, room. Of course, Your Majesty.
So the housewives were happy. They were excited. And then came down for dinner or for breakfast. I think that was actually breakfast. They then came down for breakfast, and then while they were having breakfast, they were talking, chatting, they were praising Susan, telling her she did extremely well, that she put things well together. And then back to what Susan said, her mission is to make sure that the women are actually tipsy and get to reveal so many things. We have not even started on this vacation, and we now see Dr. C begin to say opposite things. So she goes ahead to say, can you imagine, I left my house at 7:51 and I arrived at 7:01. And when she was having that, when she first said that, I was like, this thing is not adding up, Dr. C. 7:51, 7:01. So it was when Mine started laughing at her that she now corrected herself and said, sorry. What I mean is 6:59, and then I arrived at 7:01. And Susan in her head, she's like, I think this wine is actually working. Mine during her confessional said, yes, that this is what exactly she wanted. That she can see that Dr. C's head is not strong enough to take him alcohol.
I left my house at exactly 7:51, and by 7:10 I was at Wilson. 9 minutes to 7.
It was really fun. So the ladies were happy, they were excited, gisted, talked about so many things. Susan gets to invite the ladies for a mixology class, but Lisa did not attend the mixology class because she said she doesn't take gin. She's more of a champagne red wine girl, so she decides to go for yoga and a massage section. Meanwhile, Susan is saying that in her confessional, she says she knows that Susan is saying that Lisa is trying to play safe by not attending some of these naughty sessions because she doesn't want to reveal so much. So
Make them do very many naughty things, and I feel like I'm just about to succeed. Let's see how this goes, but I'm feeling good about it.
So the housewives actually had fun. They mixed their drinks, and then Susan told the housewives that the drinks was actually 40% alcohol. Meanwhile, it's actually 45% alcohol. Mine actually understood what was going on, and she said, Susan, I know what you're up to. You want us to drink so much so that we get to spill so much, but we'll see how it goes. Vera did not come for this. I guess she was tired. Not after flying that long, you now go for breakfast and all of that. So Vera was not present at the mixology class. They are going to Marafa, and I have to say that place is lovely. Like the topography of that place, oh
it's
my
so
god.
beautiful.
Like when I was
Honestly,
watching
it's just
I
like
said,
a dream.
God is great. Like, how did he create such a place? The topography, oh my god. See, I'm going to go there. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm definitely going to visit that Marafa. It is so lovely. Even the housewives said yes, they've been to Malindi, but they've never been to Marafa. So they were very excited about the place. They loved. There is no way you will not love it. There's no way you will go there and you will not like such a place. Like, it's not even possible unless there's something wrong with you upstairs. Like, it is not possible. The place was so fine. So when they were on their way, all of them were excited. Then when they got halfway, we see Dr. C and Lisa actually come down to take a walk to the final destination. And then we see Susan and Minnie actually saying that they don't really understand why they would want to take a walk rather than live the soft girl life. Minnie goes ahead to say, well, maybe they fought in the last war, so that's why they are trying to fight the war again for us.
Want to walk? Why did you just want to be a baby girl?
It was really, really funny. Then they finally got to the final destination. The housewives came together, took pictures. There was actually a picnic for them. They sat down, they were drinking, having fun. So it was just so fun. Then Susan, who is the host, goes ahead to tell the housewives how the whole journey has been for her and how that ageism affected her and that pressure of getting to 40. You know, when women get to 40, it's like that's the end of their life. Like, nothing good can come their way at 40. So she said at 38 she tried to change things for herself. She tried to work things for herself. Since she didn't have anybody to work for her, she compared herself with Mine. Say, Mine, at least your husband is there. She told Vera, at least your husband is there to actually put you through and all of that. But she's alone, so she has to talk to herself and pull things through. And now at the age of 40, she feels like life is starting afresh for her.
Starts at 40.
It does. Okay, so now I'm trying to tell you my journey.
Yeah.
I think it's an ageism thing because they always say whenever a woman is about to turn 40, this is 8-year-old. I hope you have your life in order. I hope you have your will. Okay, after I turned 38, I went into this panic attack mode.
And I really, really enjoyed that her speech, that her conversation, because that is very motivating. Like, we mustn't always depend on people for our survival. We mustn't always depend on people for our living. We mustn't always depend on people for our tomorrow. Just stand up, walk, just do things, and then pray to God. God will always answer it. So I love that. Then the ladies decided to give her one or two advice. While they were having that advice section, Sunal had an emergency call, and then she excuses herself, goes to make the call, and then unfortunately her driver actually fell from a 3-story, and it was a little bit bad, and they needed to rush him to the hospital. So she had to call an ambulance. She had to call someone to call an ambulance, since she's not close to her vicinity, to call an ambulance to take the guy to the hospital. She actually called her ex-husband as well, and it's really funny, and I think I like that relationship she has with her ex. So she calls her ex-husband, and her ex-husband actually pulls through and helps out in the whole situation. It was really, really fun to see that. Like, I like that you can have a broken relationship with your husband, with your spouse, but don't allow it affect the children. Don't allow it affect the way you communicate. It shouldn't be toxic. That's what I think. It's not everything. Once a relationship ends, that doesn't mean that it has to be toxic. That's what I feel. There can be an agreement between the two parties.
Yeah, it's the hand that is broken. Yeah, actually, right now as you're speaking, I understand that your husband, I don't know whether it's your husband that is there currently with our people.
But is he stable?
Yeah, he is.
So she settled that, although even as she settled the whole thing, her mind was not still at rest because of what was going on at home. So she just decided to just stay for Susan and then enjoy the conversations. Then later on, we see Mine. See, I have to say this. When choosing your group of friends to travel or to do anything, you must have that one friend that is wild. You must have that one friend that will make you do things that you would never think you would do in your life. Like that one friend that will take you out of your comfort zone. You must have that one friend. If not, going on vacation will just be the same thing as you living your normal life. But when you have that one wild friend, going on vacation will be sweet because you do things that you never imagined you were doing, and after doing it, you'll be super excited that you did that. So we now see Minnie telling the housewives when the sun was setting, she now told the housewives that she feels like all of them should shout as the sun is setting, and that would actually kind of detox things, take things away. And then we see the housewives shouting during their confessionals. They were so happy. Susan said that she would never ever believe that she shout the way she shouted. In fact, she roared and she yelled. I think she said she yelled. It was not that said she roared like a lion, that she was super excited. It was as if she was removing toxic things from her body, that she really liked that Mine brought up this whole shouting or screaming thing, that it was really, really very important for them.
Oh, I love Minnie for that. I mean, I just needed a wild friend to make me do something as insane as scream while the sun sets.
Then they actually had fun, took more pictures, and then decided to go back to their hotel. So going back to their hotel now, they actually 2 more events after this whole picnic thing. Like, Susan came prepared for this ladies. I don't think they're really expecting this. So the 2 other events is that they're going to have dinner and then have a pajama party. And then time for the dinner came. Mine said, well, she was not going to attend the dinner party because while they were on their way to the hotel, she was actually sleeping and holding a glass of champagne. So she doubted that she would actually attend it. Then the ladies actually go for the dinner. Lisa, who always keeps the time, was there. Then Dr. C, they were having conversations, and Lisa was not so happy with the way everything was going based on, you people gave us a time, 8:30. 8:30 should be 8:30. 1, you should learn to keep the time. 2, this is dinner. It's not always good to eat food late at night. So while they were having that conversation, the starter came. Vera comes in, greets the housewives, and then she goes ahead to sit down. They start having conversations, and then the next thing is Dr. C gets to ask Vera, why exactly is your bodyguard doing here? What exactly is your bodyguard doing? Then she goes ahead to say, well, my bodyguard is here to secure me, to protect me. And they're like, protect you from what? This place is very secured. Like, you cannot even have entrance to the place if you are not lodging. So what exactly is it preventing you from? Then Vera goes ahead to say, well, the bodyguard is actually trying to prevent people from touching her bomb. And then Dr. C is like, touching your bomb? I don't understand. Like, is it that people will just come and want to touch your bomb? Who will even want to touch your bomb in this place? Like, it was not just making any sort of sense for her to bring her bodyguard. Even Lisa was even on the same opinion that bringing your bodyguard here was not just important.
Do you feel insecure? No, I mean any protection and security. My bomb needs to be secured, so I need security.
How would you expect to get attacked right here in a private luxury resort that you can't even get into unless you're staying here?
While they're still having that conversation, we see the host walking in, Susan. Susan now walks in, greets everybody, apologizes for coming late, and then that whole conversation of bodyguard, no bodyguard. Susan said, well, she's now used to everybody, she understands everybody, and everybody should just be themselves. Then the very important conversation came up, and that conversation had to do with whether you should be a gold digger or not be a gold digger, whether you should marry for money or not marry for money, whether, like, that conversation was so interesting. So Vera goes ahead to ask Dr. C, so are you trying to say that you're a gold digger? And she said, yes, I'm a gold digger.
And let him marry a gold digger because she's a clever woman. She's a survivor.
I cannot marry a man that does not have money. Like, where do we want to have the conversations? That she doesn't know why she see ladies these days say, oh, I love him, I'm in love with him. Like, where do you actually want to meet? You want to meet in the forest? And it's very important. All these people that will say, oh, it's not good to be a good digger, I don't really understand. Like, money is important. You cannot marry somebody that cannot take care of you. You cannot marry somebody that when you bring out hand and say money for school fees or money for feeding, they will not be looking at you. Like, is it love that you eat? Mba, it is not love that you eat. So anybody that comes to you and say you're a good digger, accept it with your full chest. Tell the person, yes, I agree, I'm a good digger because I like the good things of life. Since you don't like the good things of life, please can you just give me the money in your account? Since you do not know what to do with money, since you think you're not a good digger, please just give me the money. So I love that Dr. C was really open. She was genuine about what she felt. See, when I say be a good digger, see, how do I put this thing so that people don't misinterpret it? Well, I know you people understand what I mean. So if you want to misinterpret it, that is fine. But I know you people understand what I mean when I say be a gold digger. Because see, tomorrow, time for feeding, you will not want to eat love. That's just the truth about it. Abi, you will eat love. Love will be your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At the end of the day, it's going to be a problem. I don't know who even sang this. Who even sang? Is it Two-Face also? Is it when money enter, love is sweeter? Say when there is money, the love becomes sweeter. So I don't know if you're talking about not having money for love and all of that.
What do you want to call him? Is he a good spam? Does he you have money in the bank. Okay, were you a gold digger? Yes, I was.
So that whole conversation was interesting, and then the next thing is that we're seeing the pajama party. The pajama party came, and then the housewives came. It was fun. It was really, really fun. The games started. The games were fun. The games was more like who would actually do this, who do you think would do this, who do you think would not do this. It was really a very, very fun episode. I enjoyed this episode so much. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this episode. What do you think went wrong? What do you think did not go wrong? What are you expecting in the next episode? Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you in my next video, and bye.